All right, fam, we back in there, man. These, you know how technology is. You know how the enemy is, man. When it's a powerful message coming through, he always gets to the point where he doesn't want it to come out. So we're gonna go back to, and we're gonna continue this beauty right here. Let my son continue, Fred Jr. Let him continue speaking on what he sees and what he's witnessed.
As I was saying though, about black men being out in the world, having to be cautious all the time, and any white people now, especially after the Ahmaud Arbery video, not even just cops, any people having to be cautious all our lives basically, and it shouldn't have to be that way. We should be able to live freely without having to think about either going out, for a run and being shot down. We shouldn't have to think about that. And like my brother said, when he's driving, he's cautious. Not only is he cautious, but I'm cautious too, because he can't be the only one cautious around here. Because we both ride together. We both, whatever we go through, we gotta go through it together. So it's just how it is. That's all I gotta say right now.
Mm.
I'll just try to speak on the riots. So the riots. I got mixed emotions about the riots. To be honest, I agree with the to a degree with the riots. Like,
Protest.
what's that?
You agree with protest?
Oh yeah, protesting. I agree with the protesting. I don't agree with the looting and the fire setting stores. I don't agree with all that. But the protesting, I do get that. I'm totally 100% with that. But when you turn it into looting and rage, burning stuff up for no reason, you done you already passed. It's not even about George Floyd anymore. It's about just pure hate and rage and just doing whatever you want. That's nonsense. I just think that's crazy, and that's what's got to stop.
How do you feel about the looting and the protesting?
Like you're saying that, like it just needs to stop because there's no point in doing that because all you're just seeing is hate. There's no love.
Yes.
There's no love. It's just hate right then and there. And then on top of that, I've been seeing on social media people posting all lives matter, and then it's like Black Lives Matter. Right now, it's Black Lives Matter.
So what do you say?
Right now, it's Black Lives Matter. It's straight like that. Sorry. Right now, we are in a time of need. Black people in a time of need. Right now, I get it. All lives matter, but right now, in this time of day, Black Lives Matter.
What makes you feel that way?
Just what we're going through. What we're going through right now. You know, everybody's saying
Yeah.
all lives matter. They're just trying to. I feel like they're just trying to. I feel like they're just trying to take away from the fact that Black Lives. They're trying to change the subject. But really, it's you can't. People just want to be selfish and have all the attention on them instead of putting it for another race. We can't. I feel like we deserve this attention especially right now. Like this is getting bad. This is crazy. And right now, Black Lives Matter. It's that movement. Black Lives Matter. All lives matter can wait when all this is over. But right now, it's Black Lives Matter. Like you were saying, with all lives matter and Black Lives Matter, I got I have mixed emotions on that. Like I agree with all lives matter because everyone matters. Love everyone, but like you were saying, Black Lives Matter because what we're going through, some people don't understand, and to be honest, you'll never understand. You never will. I'm sorry,
I'll
but
be sorry.
you will never understand what we go through and why we have to be cautious. But right, like he said, right now, Black Lives Matter because we need it. You know, since we can get all love, because that's all we try to do. We try to show y'all love, no matter what, and that's what I'm gonna continue doing. I'm gonna show you love. I don't care who you are. I'm gonna show you love. That's all it is.
As far as the right, the protests, I agree with it. When it comes down to the looting, I'm not for that. But when you really look at it, we got to see who is doing the looting. That's what needs to be addressed. Who's doing the looting? They're they're tagging things, tagging stores, but it's not the blacks. It's other races. Stay to make it seem like the blacks are doing it. So blacks can peacefully protest. It's been done. But the rioting and the looting of stores, that's not something I agree with. When it comes to Black Lives Matter, yes, I'm for it. I have 4 black children that I have to look out for. My husband, I have to look out for.
You look at me?
I sure do. I'm constantly in prayer for them. So, like my son says, Black Lives Matter. And when we can get all this hatred and racism out of this world, all lives will matter. But right now, in this time, Black Lives Matter. And I know some of our white friends might be angry that we're saying this, but this is coming from the Foremans right now. So that's how I feel. That's how my children feel. Fred will tell you how he feels about it.
Amen. Amen. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful to hear from my family. It's beautiful for y'all to hear from them. I hear from them all the time. Well, not all the time. The boys are teenagers now, so they have their phone, they have their jobs, they have their life, and I thank God for that, man. So we talk when we can. I don't take it for granted at all of what they do. I love the fact that they're being boys, and to me, that's important. They're living. They're not just here existing. So I love that what they're doing. It doesn't really. I mean, every father wants that ultimate time and just spend a whole bunch of abundance of time with the children. But when they hit the teenage stage, man, I've never had a 17-year-old before. I've never had a 16-year-old before. So only ones I've had is the ones I mentored, but I've never had one biologically. So it's new for me. But I do enjoy it. But let me ask them some more questions because, like I said, man, I want you to hear from my family. You hear from me quite a bit, but I really want you to hear from my family how they feel about the situations that are at hand. I know you said our white friends may be mad, but how do you feel about your white friends right now, or do how do you feel about your white friends right
Not all white people are racist. So I'm not mad at all white people. No, I'm not going to say that. I can say for the ones that are racist, I don't hate you. I pray for you. That's about all I can do because I can't use the word hate because we're supposed to love. I can just pray that God touches you and remove that spirit out. But not all white people are racist, and not all black people are. What's the word I'm looking
now? Ignorant.
for? Right, ignorant. And as people stereotype different races, that's not who they are. You have to know that individual.
You feel those white friends.
I'm not sure trying to do things.
Um, I love them all. Like I said, I love everybody. But like I said, they won't understand what we go through. And my red friends, they know me. I tell it like it is. I tell them truth hurts and keep moving. Keep going with your life. But I always love. But I'm done. I don't want to do this hate no more. I don't want to do that. I want to love. I don't care who you are. I'm gonna continue loving you no matter what.
Shay.
Yeah, well, I
Our boys are hilarious.
got some white friends. We went to basically all our lives. We grew up in all white schools. So I've been growing around white people all the time. I love white people. I love everybody. One of my best friends is white. Like literally, he's like a brother to me. Shoot, I'm gonna go one more. My best friend, literally white. My brother, like next to this brother, he like right there. He's like right there.
Right there.
Only thing we don't have, is the same blood. We are right there, close to each other. He's white. I don't have a problem with white people. I'm cool. I go to all white school now. Well, not all white, but it's mostly white. You know,
Praise
like
God.
like that. But
Yeah, pray for us.
we don't have a problem with white people. Honestly, I'm cool.
They all chill. They
I'm
are.
cool with everybody. I don't even see like a race. I just see like
Everyone's
people there.
together.
Like I would never see nobody like, oh, they're white. I don't see it. I don't ever go there. I don't see that. I just be like, oh, it's a person. Let me just go see, go talk to him. See what's up with him. That's it. Like I'm like that with everybody. So, I don't know, black people. Honestly, black people do not have a problem with white people. If you ask any black person, well, most they don't have a problem with white people. We don't have a problem. We forgave y'all for all that. The,
That's what y'all did.
yeah, ancestors. We forgave all that. But like when it's like history's repeating. So like that's what we don't like. That's what we get uh, irritated about. Yeah, that's what we get irritated.
Yeah, I was laughing because I mean, laughter is good for the soul. So you have to laugh through all of this torture right now. And then like my sons are saying and my wife is saying, really, um, I've always taught my sons to see color because color is beautiful. No matter what it is, it's beautiful. You have to see yourself for who you are. You have to love yourself for who you are. You have to love you and be glad that you're you. It's only one of you. I tell my sons, and it depends on how you look at it, but you were the seed that fought the hardest and you won. You made it. You were the seed that fought the hardest, and you out of millions of seeds, you're the one that fought the hardest and made it. So that's how special you are. Out of a million seeds, you the one that made it. To me, that's an extreme special person, man. That's a fighter from the beginning. That's one that God wants out into this world. That's one God that said, "Hey, there he is, or there she is. Come on out of there. Dad doing his work, so you gotta go." So I love it, man. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love it. It's your perspective, how you look at it, and how you want to look at it. You can sit here and you can be upset all your days of your life, but I don't choose to be upset. I choose to do something about my upsetness, and I think that's what I'm trying my best to teach and put into my children as well. And but before I get into it, man, y'all know I talk all the time. Like I said, I really want to get away from one blood just for a few minutes. I'll bring one blood in a minute, but I really wanted you to hear from the Foreman family of what they've been through and what they're going through and how they feel, really to the depth. We're not just one blood. We're not just what is it commercialized people. We're not the good black folk. You feel what I'm saying? You always there's always this thing that, and I had to correct this gentleman. I've corrected quite a few white men who said this to me. Oh man, you must have some white in you. Now in my 20s, I probably come that close to knocking the fire out of them. But as I've gotten older, I realized the ignorancy of their life, because it's always like, man, you have to be white or have some kind of white in you to be correct, to talk correctly, to perform correctly, to do your job correctly, to show up on time correctly, to do anything that's right or look right in anybody's eyes. You have to have some white in you, and that is so much of a degrade statement. It's a demoralizing statement to say to a black individual. And I've heard it throughout my life, and I always have corrected that statement. I've always said I've come from a good beanstalk. I come from a good father. I have still, thank God, I have a great father. Lost my mother, had a great mother. Uh, didn't really get that much time with her, but at least I had one, and had a beautiful. I now have a beautiful stepmom, so it's a beautiful thing. But let me kick it back over to the family, man. I want y'all to really get into them and understand what they feel and understand how they feel. And we're gonna just continue hearing from them just for a few more minutes, and then we'll drop one blood back in, and prayerfully we'll be able to give you something to take with your family for understanding and love. That is the whole key. That's the whole key of it, is understanding and love. So back to my wife, let me ask this question here. Being that we're in this segment, this space, what is the right word? This season. Being that we're in this season of life, um, what is your defense right now? And now that you have seen Sandra Bland, Trayvon Martin, Eric Garner, and the list just continues. I don't remember all the names. It's sad when you don't remember all the names, but George Floyd, what's your defense now? Or not even that. What do you see in America now that you didn't see before?
I love how the blacks have came together to call more attention to what's going on instead of staying silent.
What a Rocky, Melissa.
So that would be a positive thing. But we need to not just protest, we need to make sure that it's being brought to attention everywhere, every day. We don't let this one just fly by and wait till the next time. We need to go ahead and just voice your opinions, voice our opinions, so we can try to put a stop to this for the future generations. Is that what you're asking?
Mm-hmm. Not usually.
Um, I was driving. I think it was one day from work. And I was telling my brother that that all the black men who died after George Floyd, like after that one, everyone's finally coming together. Like, why couldn't we come together in the past? We should have been coming together, but so many black men had died, and now we come together, which I'm glad we do. And some white people, they come together too, and I love that because everybody's coming together. But I wish we would start coming together a little bit sooner than this. And like I said before, hopefully this ends soon.
Like you were saying, yeah, uh, it did take too long to come together. It sucks that it had to wait. You would have thought everybody would come together after Arbery, but I had to wait till another Black Death for everybody to finally start protesting after all these years. That's 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 too much. We should have came together way earlier, way sooner. But at least we are now. Now we are, and that's great. I actually, I'm proud of that, and I enjoy that.
What would you say to Ahmad's mom and um, not her mom? What would you say to Ahmad's mom, I know George's mom. I think she left 2 years ago. Trayvon's mom, Tamir Mary Rice's mom, George's not George, but George too, but Sandra Bland's mom. Uh, what would you say to their moms from a black mom? What would you say to them?
I can't even imagine what they're going through. I wouldn't want to imagine what they're going through, but I would definitely, I guess, ask what we could do to help stop it. If they, from being on that side of the victim side, if they knew any of the things that would help to stop the violence of blacks but other races. But as far as I wouldn't know what to say as far as like it's hard to know. I wouldn't know what to say really because I'm not there. I don't want to experience that.
What would you say to if since I already, I know y'all watch Aubrey, but what would you say to the white gentleman who murdered Aubrey, Ahmaud Aubrey? Isaiah?
Probably ask him why he do it. What was the reason? Was it worth it? Because if all you did was just take another life from this earth, and you just took another black man, and you just took someone's child, then I'll ask him, how would you feel if that was your child? You just can't go take someone's life, especially if they didn't do anything wrong. It's not right whatsoever.
What I would ask them is what was going through their mind when they when that happened. I just really want to know what was the thoughts in your head, what was going on when you were setting it up, following him, and then the dude on top, I really want to know what he was thinking. He had the gun and everything. I want to know what he was thinking. On top of the gun. I mean, on top of the truck, shoot, dude. I just want to know. They're not no policemen. I don't know why they thought they had the right to shoot a man down and get away with it. I don't know. I just really want to know what was going through their heads. I really want to know the thoughts that was going through. That's what I would ask them. Like, hey man, what's going through your head? What you thinking? But yeah, another question.
Mm-hmm. Family, what do you? I mean, what questions do you have for us? Those of you who are watching, you can ask the Foreman family anything. What are you feeling? What do you want to know from us? Uh, we're open right now. I'm opening up my family to yours. So, like I said, we put one blood aside for a second. We'll bring it back in a minute. But I want to hear from you for a second. What do you want to know from the Foreman family? What's a question that you may have for us? And hopefully, one of you will ask a question. But while we're waiting, um, I'll ask my family this now that what are you willing to do? What's your aim? I know how you feel, um, but what's your aim now? What's your target?
As far as trying to get all this senseless killing to stop, is letting our voice be heard. Um, Voting, researching who's running for any kind of position of office. Um, Doing research, Fred has really been studying the Constitution, and so he's brought things to me that I didn't even know. So we all need to do more research, not just what we learned in school, but really research things about history per se.
Yeah. Paul, man, I hear you. I feel you. Nick Rogers. Nick said, if there was something you want to change, what would it be?
As far as that's a good one.
Come on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard for me to say I can come back to it because from things that me and you have talked about, it's really just if we could change history, the Constitution, things written in the Constitution, things that were taught to us and to our children, if we could change that, rewrite history, I, I guess that would be my answer.
Like my mom was saying, changing history and changed racism, just seeing everybody as equal, because that's what we are. Like my dad said, he told me and my brother, we all bleed the same, we all have red blood.
You got blue blood. I'm just messing with you, man.
You know, like he was saying, we all have red blood, we all bleed the same. So, I mean, we're all equal. Shouldn't to see like who's better or who's not. That doesn't matter. We're all equal.
Like he was saying, we all bleed the same blood. Everybody's the same inside. It's gonna be kind of silly, but I saw this Instagram post. You crack open a brown egg and you crack open a white egg. You pour them out. It's the same yolk.
That's pretty good.
It's the same. It's the same.
Didn't know where he was going with that.
Hey, it's the same. So everybody, that's it proof. Everything. Everybody's the same inside. That's just a deeper meaning. Uh, what I would change, but it's you can't. I would try to change like people's thoughts from the beginning of black people. I would try to change their opinions, but you can't change people's opinions no matter what how hard you try. If they're gonna believe what they're gonna believe at the end of the day. But that's what I would change if I could change. I would change people's opinions on black people and just black people in general.
See, Miss Amanda, hey, Cal and Amanda Austin, I just really read that. It says, as a white woman who works with college age young women, what would Don you say would be important for me to know or say, or even to not say to the young black women that I work with during this time? That's a pretty good
That's a
question.
good one. One thing I guess you would not want to say is well, you could say you wanted to stop, but as far as saying that you understand what they're going through, I wouldn't recommend saying that because you're not black. Um, but you can ask what you could do to help in this time. That's not just for black women, that's for all races. So we can stop the racism to to remove it.
Let me say, Miss Richardson said, "My daughter took American history the past school year, and let me say, wow, you talking right now. Her professor gave the class the real deal, no sugarcoating. If there was not so much sugarcoating going on presently, then maybe things would be better, or at least a little better." I hear you on that. Kendrick says, "We don't need to rewrite history. We just need to tell the truth about history." Kendrick, I don't know if you caught my show last night, but if you get a chance, go to One Blood MOU YouTube page, One Blood MOU, and you
Yes.
will hear a lot of that. And then the show that was last night was actually on live. You can go to Fred Foreman Senior's my business page, my life coaching business page, and you will hear some of the truth last night that I told. Catch that video if you get a chance, Kendrick. I think you'll find it insightful. I really do. And my man Paul says, "The devil works against us." That is true. Uh, and man is a sinful being. That is very, very true. Very, very true. So let me ask the boys this, Cal and Amanda. Let me ask the boys this. As a white woman, so in other words, as a white teacher, what would advice would you give a white teacher right now to say to uh, their black students? I just want to add a little bit to you, Cal and Austin. I mean, Cal and Amanda, Austin.
That's all right. What my mom said. What could they do to help the situation? That's what I would probably tell.
Hey, there's Tiffany.
Or try to I had a white lady come to me during like I was working. She was like, I'm sorry about what's going on in the world and that this nonsense. And that just made me feel really good, because I don't even know her. She's, I was doing my job, and she came to me like, I'm sorry what's going on in the world, and I really hope it will stop this nonsense. You could say, something like that, because that made me feel really good. I don't know about anybody else, but it made me feel pretty good.
Okay. How about you?
Like they were saying, try. I guess you try to help, but like my mom was saying, you you won't understand what we're going through. And then like he was saying, at his job, a white lady came up to him and said, "Sorry, with me at my job, I mean it could be a different story, considering sometimes I'm the only black man working there, and I'm working with other white people, and the majority of white people come to my job, and I think about this almost every time I work. It's like they could be thinking, oh no, I don't want him to make my food. Is there someone else who can make my food? That if I had that happen to me, I just gonna feel hurt on the inside. But I'm thankful that that's not gonna happen, and I hope it doesn't."
All right, Amanda, I'm so sorry. Not a teacher. She says, although teachers are the best, amen to that, we are missionaries to a college student. So even a biblical perspective that may be I don't see. Listen, I don't want you to go back because I'm not going to go into last night's show. But if you want a biblical perspective, go back and watch the show from last night. I gave a biblical perspective. It was a hard one. It was a harsh one, and I really do believe you would benefit from it. I do believe you would get a real defined answer in that if you understand it. If you take the time to open your heart up and your mind up to understand that answer that I gave last night to the question that you're asking right now from a biblical standpoint of what you could say and what you could do and what really needs to be done in order to reset. I know Kendrick is saying, hey, we don't need to rewrite anything, but resetting is nothing wrong with resetting. Are y'all good?
Kyle, a minute. What Fred is saying from the show last night, it works from both female and male, white, black. So that's why he's saying to look at the show from last night, and you will get the. I'm pretty sure you'll get the answer that you're looking for that question? Because I know your first question was from a woman's perspective.
Kendra says, "Let me be honest. Looting and rioting didn't just become a problem. What about Black Wall Street and the Boston Team Party? I'm just saying, Kendra. I'm just saying. Go to One Blood MOU and watch my YouTube videos, and then go to last night on my Facebook page. Man, I've been doing this for I think a little over a year now. Every Tuesday night, I do an eye opener Tuesday show, Elephant in the Room. So what you are talking about right now, man, I'm not mad with you. I thank God of what you're saying. I thank God of what you're believing. And I do believe in telling the truth. I do believe in opening up the ears into a brighter wisdom and a brighter perspective of what really happened and how we really got here. And actually, I'm going to hit it just a little bit because I'm going to bring One Blood in if y'all are good. Y'all are good. What was it? Cal said, definitely will. Thanks for all that you're doing. Beautiful family. Oh, y'all are beautiful family too. Love you. Amen. Beautiful, beautiful family, all of y'all. So let me do this right here. Are y'all feeling groovy? Y'all good? Yeah, I got your rocks off. All right, let me tap into this right quick. Let me bring One Blood in this, man. Let me shed some beauty into this from One Blood's perspective. Like I said earlier, we took out One Blood for just a minute because I really wanted you guys to understand how the Foreman family felt, how we what we've been through and how we're feeling on the things that we've gone through and what we've been through. So let me bring One Blood back into this and let me give you some insight on. I know you're probably saying, well, Fred, we didn't get to hear, or Coach Fred, we didn't get to hear what you believe and what you uh, how you feel about it. Um, through my organization is how you see how I feel about it. My works is what you see, and you will find out how I feel about it. So let me give you this. In history, someone asked me last night, we don't need to, how to say that thing, we need to make sure that we let people know before the 16, 14, or 15, 1400s, there were black people in the United States living very well, doing great things. I understand that. I really do get that. I get it all the way, but I did not say we're, I did not say we're, man, y'all be offline right now. I did not say that where black people begin, because there is a false statement in there where people always tend to think blacks started at racism. So let me clarify this and make sure this is right for you to understand. Blacks did not start at racism. That's not where it began. That's not where we were created. That is nowhere near where we have been, where we begun. Uh, Leading up to where we are right now, let me give you some ballpark, hurtful, painful history. Black people from the beginning of hurt, from the beginning of pain, from the beginning of creating and colonizing the United States were looked at as less than dogs. Point blank, period. Here's a perspective that I want you to understand, and here's one of the laws that I want you to really go back and read. Download the legal app. Download the legal app and look up the word citizens. You will find in there a very hardship definition of citizens. And what you will find that black folks, period. Now, here's the thing: when Europeans came down, remember the Europeans when they were let go, they were released from the prisons of Europe, and they came down to the United States and just caused havoc. So we it's not that Kendrick. I understand you saying we don't need to be right. We want to tell the truth. Yes, we want to get some insight. If you go back to the last show, you'll catch it. I'm gonna give you a glimpse of last night. Coming from the history point, when they did come down and they learned everything from the Indians, they called the genocide Thanksgiving. I really need you to go back and read your history. This is the key point. If you want something from me and you are really yearning to help black folks out right now, and you're saying you really believe in the vision that One Blood has been given for the last 5, 6 years, and you really want to get to the nitty gritty of it, you got to chop it off at the root. This is how you do it. You got to go back and read your history, and then you have to really just listen to black folks. That's all we're asking. Just listen. Open up your ears just for a little while because not all white folks are bad. I really cater to everything that I do. I really want my white supremacists to understand what we're going through. On top of that, we have to make sure that the good white folk understand what white supremacists are doing. That's what Paul Yates was talking about earlier. It was not the black, and my wife was talking about the same thing. It was not the blacks that was protesting,
Right.
and it wasn't the blacks that was doing the looting and the rioting. It was actually the white supremacists doing it. They had on black uniforms, they had on goggles, and they had on face masks to cover up and make it seem like there was black folks doing this. So how do we get to that level? Let me tell you how from history. There are two things. One of them I just gave you. I gave you the rule of citizenship, the law of citizen. So go back, read your history, find out what citizen, the definition of it really meant. Then I'm gonna take you up, I'll bring you up to 1669 where they had the Casual Killing Act. Now the Casual Killing Act gave a white master any time that he was correcting a black person or slave, gave them full authority to murder them, to kill them. Go look at the act. This is not me writing this. This is not me saying this. I am just the one that is presenting this. Go back and read Casual Killing Act, 1669. It says a master can kill off of correction. So let's take this up to 19. What do you want to hug? Mm-hmm. You want to get you? I want to get you. I'm coming. Go, go, go. Yeah, you got it. So, coming from the 1669 theory, now we're going to bring it up to date. We're going to bring up 1669. You take Ahmaud Arbery and you put my son's running down the road, and you take Ahmaud Arbery and you replace it with my son's. With the 1669 Care Act, I can kill you, or the master of a white, the white master could kill you off correction. In other words, them white boys told the white supremacists told the black boy, "You stop, you listen to me." So since he didn't stop, he didn't listen. I got to kill you. The 1669 that amendment, I mean, it's been a minute, so you don't have to worry about that being a law. I want you to understand this clearly. It's not a law now, but the concept is still at play. The white gentleman, the white cop that killed George, comfortably put his hand in his pocket and comfortably killed that man. You did not stop moving. I gave you an order. I was correcting you, and you did not correct yourself. Even though the law is out, but the presence, the meaning of 1669 is still in existence today. The rule or the definition of citizen is still in effect today. And you ask me, how is that so? Well, the young lady that called the cops and told the cops that the black man was threatening her because he wanted her to obey the law by putting her dog on a leash. That's how we know a black man has no more voice than a dog. In other words, she was saying, hey, do not talk louder or bark louder than my dog. Don't tell me what to do with my dog. He has more privilege than you. So now I need the police to come and I need to make sure they know that I'm a white woman that's threatened so they can come kill you. And I know my white family is like, wait a minute, man, that might not be. Open your eyes up. Because this is what Kaepernick was trying to tell you the whole time. He wasn't going against the flag. He was really trying to send the right, perfect message saying, hey, man, we're getting brutalized out here. We're getting mistreated out here. And until the United States government replaces the laws, in other words, we got to hit the voting like it's no other time to vote. I'm telling you right now, we have to vote and we have to go to Congress to change the foolishness that's going on today. If you have those type of thoughts and you actually question, then I really need you to go look in the mirror and really ask yourself, what do I really feel? How should I really present myself? Because see, these two right here, even though they look that right now, when you see them and you look at them, man, those are some handsome guys. They look stand up. They look like they keep their pants up. They look like they don't cause no trouble. And if you know me, then you know the way I raise my family is old school. We believe in discipline. We believe in structure. We believe in giving a lot of love to our children. Even though they might not see it right now, they might not understand it, but they get it. And to me and to my wife, they're upstanding children. But when they walk outside, that cop that just killed that George Aubrey, he's not going to see a running back. He's not going to see a RTC. He's not going to see a guy that works at Subway making his way through high school. He's not going to see a young man that works at Food Line making his way through high school. He's not going to see that they have good report cards. He's not going to see that they have a good attendance at school. He's not going to see that they wear their pants up. He's just going to see he's less than a dog. So until we can really get to the root of this bad boy and cut it right there, it's not rewriting history. It's putting history in perspective and letting you know that the history lied for so many years. For so many years. They just told a complete lie. Your forefathers was out of prison. They got released and they planned a massacre, and then they planned it for their generation. White supremacy, not all white folks. White supremacy. They planned for their group to never die out. That's what was tearing the streets up of Raleigh and everywhere else around the world, was the white supremacy group. Not my good family, not my good white folk family. And I know for the fact that downtown Raleigh was white supremacy because I have some really, really good friends on the fire departments who have gave us direct information, state trooper information, and we feel confident in them because they called and apologized to a black man. And the thing that got them, they said, man, I was hurt because they looked like me. So it's been blinded the whole time. We are the most forgiving race known to man. If you look at all the slave history, and we could, man, do you realize when black people really stand together, how strong we are? Now, if we really decided to stand together, we could have been done wipe that terrorist group, slam out, and anybody else with it. If you think for 1 second that we're not weaponized, it's just a fact we don't want to go that route. I'd rather express the love than sending a bullet your way. I'd rather shoot an abundance of an arrow. What is an arrow? Is that cubit? Mm-hmm. Cubit send the arrows of love. Mm-hmm. I'd rather send them arrows of love, man, and understanding than to send a real hateful bullet. Is that the price, Aubrey, for walking into a home? Man, I'm in construction. I don't do construction, but I work in that environment. And I walk in houses all the time. All the time. Them nice, beautiful, bigger home. You think that COVID-19 put us in a what do you call it? What are we at? Social distancing. Let me hit you up to the red line. Let me give you some red line information. I want you to go look that up. I'm not even gonna give you that because I don't want to stay no much longer. It's already 9 o'clock. I want you to go look up the red line information because I've actually been through the red line information. How they do the red line. Go look it up. Just look up red line. Google it. Find it. It's always been social distancing. It's always been. It's been in the play for I don't know how long. The reason why so many whites snapped on it, you had just a smidget, like say out of 100%, you had half of a percent when the government took away your mobile, where you couldn't go to the stores, you couldn't go to the banks, you couldn't go to the Burger Kings and McDonald's, and you couldn't go out. That's a smidget of what black folks been dealing with for I don't know how long now, man. And then we die for it. What we need now is an abundance of what we've been given, understanding and love. If you can swallow your pride long enough to put that out there. Sometimes you just gotta be. I tell you like this. Sometimes, and I say it so often. Uh, Sometimes silence is the best answer. But what am I saying? Just be quiet and listen. Listen how someone feels because how they feel is very important as well. It's extremely important. You got two teenagers, man, that don't even want to go out the house. I'm not gonna say they don't want to leave, but it's just, they feel some kind of way of leaving their home. You know how that makes a father feel? That I do have two upstanding children, upstanding wife, upstanding daughters, and they don't even want to leave their home because they really don't know what's going to happen. How you think I feel every day that I go to work and I work 50 plus a week? I have to do a lot of praying and let the angels be covered, let the angels be ministered around 24/7 because you can't think about it. You mess around, go crazy, man. But the way you felt during COVID-19 with this social distancing, man, we've been going through that for a long time. That's why we were so good at it. That's why we were so used to it. That's why you see more black people with masks on and everything. We're already used to it. We already know the game. We're hip to it. Now we're asking you to we're asking you to gain some understanding and gain some love so that we can
That food good.
yeah,
Hungry.
good.
Scroll down and go comments.
Oh, we got some comments. Let me we gotta get ready to wrap this up. Paul, you're right. Know who you're voting for. Also know who is trying to associate with you and why. He said, I love you, Paul. Amen to that. Amen to that. I get you. I get you. Nautical Bangs. What's up, Nisi? But look, tune into the eye opening Tuesday night shows, man. That's where I talk about the elephant in the room. It's every Tuesday night. I'm coming back to Facebook now because and I'll be sharing it with YouTube. But I really want to come back and get back into Facebook, man, and give you some wisdom, give you some knowledge. I bring on people who have a lot of wisdom, who have a lot of knowledge of what we're going through, who give me information and who incite me and keeps me abreast of what's going on and even open my eyes up to look at it a different route in a different way. So I do not say anything and go out my way to hurt anybody's feelings. That's not the ammo. That's not the mission. One blood mission is to make sure that we all get on the understanding we all are God's children, one human race. And before I leave you with this, y'all have anything else to say? Y'all good?
You do all the talking.
Y'all talking. Praise God. Praise God. Hey, because y'all don't even want to hear what I be dealing with anyway. But anyway, praise God. We're gonna leave you with this, man. If each individual does the individual job, that's what will make a team. I love you with the love of Christ, man. Y'all be safe, be blessed. Remember, one blood loves you. Peace.